Today's question is on how to compete in powerlifting and strongman at the same time. This question was asked by someone who is fairly accomplished in powerlifting. They just did their first strongman meet for fun. Now they want to take it a little bit more serious, decide they really like it. Big surprise. And, you know, they want to still be able to compete at a high level in both, and if it's possible, and how to do it. Of course, first off, it's very possible. In strongman, you're going to be, in your training, you're going to be benching, squatting, deadlifting already. It's just the focus isn't always going to be on maximal weight, and the bench and the squat specifically are most likely not going to be seen in a strongman contest, so they shouldn't be the focus of your training. They're assistance lists for strongman. And but they're still, you know, they're two very good movements that should be in everyone's strength training program because they add a ton of mass and strength, so they should still be included. It's just you're going to have to switch that up slightly if you're still going to be competing in powerlifting. So my advice is, the other thing, well, first off, the other thing, when you already are strong and you come into strongman and you're not familiar with the implements, it's very important to emphasize correct technique and form on those events, because you are already going to be strong enough to kind of, you know, just muscle them up, and that's how you get hurt. And you're probably not used to walking with weights either, so you just really got to work on getting fast on the moving events. So basically, what I try to tell someone to do is we put a emphasis on the moving events, such as yoke and farmer's walk, with training those for speed. We're not even really going to try to see how much weight you can do for 50 feet on those at first, because you can probably do a good amount. We just want to work on getting the right mechanics of moving fast with that weight and kind of treat it like our speed work. And then on the implements such as like stone and log press, of course, if you come straight from powerlifting, you probably haven't spent a lot of time doing overhead work, and it for sure hasn't been an emphasis. So mainly sometimes there's mobility issues that need to be worked out because you've benched so much and not done as much, pressing stuff over your head. So you need to work those out and work on the clean. And specifically, the biggest difference I've seen when people have like a big bench press and they struggle with the overhead is they don't have that stability. Because in a bench press, the pad you're pressing off of, and you have this whole base that you're using your upper body, your pressing muscles to press off of that pad, and it's stabilizing you. Where in the overhead press, you need to use your back and lats to stabilize that weight overhead. So there's going to need to be an emphasis on that. And what I like to do is just hold weights overhead. That'll really improve that. So I would not schedule meets too close together. I feel like you should have at least 8 to 12 weeks to prepare for a meet, and a couple lighter weeks in between. So basically, I keep saying that, that's really annoying. So, I'd say within 6 weeks of one contest or the other, I would not, bench to you have to put that focus on whatever's coming up. If you have a strongman meet coming up 6 to 8 weeks out, it's all focused on the strongman. You can still pause your benches here and there. Make sure to still do your competition list, even if they are you're treating them more as an assistance or secondary movement for strongman. Make sure you're doing them still to powerlifting specifications. Don't hit your deadlifts in training. I don't think that's something you should do anyways. Make sure you're hitting depth on your squat. Make sure you're pausing your benches, etc. So you're still building that muscle up. And I'd treat the big three more as like a volume phase. you know, a mass accumulation phase in that, where you're doing a little bit more high reps, more sets than dialing it down to max weight. And when your next focus is a powerlifting meet, I would do the exact opposite, and I'd still keep some of the core strongman stuff, especially if there's a weakness that you particularly have that you want to focus on in the rotation. But, you know, so I'd say just basically do like some sort of overhead press where it's, you know, the typical one like log or axle, and then alternate every 3 weeks on some sort of carry between yoke, farmers, and some sort of front carry, whether it be a sandbag, keg, or you know, anything like that, or Husafelt stone, that kind of thing. And on every other week to every 3 weeks, I'd throw in a loading event like stones or sandbag, to just keep working those same kind of things you need to be good at to excel at strongman. And if you do that, I think both complement each other very well. And strongman will make you, it'll bring up some weaknesses you might have had from powerlifting. It'll bring up your grip strength, your upper back strength, shoulder strength, etc., core strength definitely, and vice versa. You know, getting stronger always helps in strongman. So good luck, and hopefully this helps.